Welcome into the Spectrum in Logan, Utah for Utah State basketball as the Aggies today take on Fresno State. Big Mountain West Conference matchup. Dave Fox along with former Aggie great Gary Wilkinson wearing a little bit of a smile perhaps because the nation's longest win streak stopped just 4 games shy of the streak you hold from the Aggies in 2009 at 19, but they start a new streak today. And Gary, let's talk first about Fresno State and Isaiah Hill. He had a game-winning shot that was spectacular against San Jose State the other night to get them that victory. They needed that.
Yeah, that was their first Mountain West win. Isaiah is a guy that's gonna push you in transition. He can shoot off the bounce. He's a great creator for his team. Everything flows through him, so he's going to be a big focus for the Aggies tonight.
Seems like every Aggie game we're talking about a different star who has stepped up. Let's go to Ian Martinez. The Aggies coming off a loss. They did end their win streak at New Mexico, but Martinez had a great game.
Yeah, you're not going to win every game, but Ian Martinez, him stepping up the way he has in the past couple games is just a good sign for the Aggies as they head down this conference stretch. So look for him tonight to continue on that path and keep putting the ball up like he has these past couple games.
Uh-oh, they have dimmed the lights. That means it's time for the introductions and time to get this Aggie basketball crowd fired up as the team will be introduced. Their first game back since snapping that win streak. But hey, they look awfully good still. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being 16-2 on the season. Aggie basketball coming up against Fresno State on KMYU and the Mountain West Network.
It's Doug Hoffman.
Welcome back. We are in the Spectrum. This place can get wild. Interesting scheduling side note here. So a game originally scheduled for 7 p.m., as most of them are, and it was moved up to a 2 p.m. start, which is great. Well, now all of a sudden, one of the Aggie faithful, of course, Jordan Love, is playing an NFL playoff game tonight. So all of these Aggie fans get to watch their basketball team and then go home and watch Jordan Love play against the San Francisco 49ers. So I guess this all kind of worked out.
Yeah, it was all meant
in a weird
be.
way. Yeah.
Serendipitous.
Pretty good, yeah. Although, being a Cowboys fan, I'm a little torn on that whole Jordan Love thing. But no, he looked great in this playoff game.
He did.
At any rate, right now, here we go. Utah State leading this series 43-26. They're 26-8 against Fresno State in Logan. So they have dominated this series on the season. Fresno State 8-9, 1-3 in league play. And right off the bat, Eduardo Andre out of England, which means there are now 3 players from England in this game. Great Osibor, of course, and Josh Aduje for the Aggies.
I wonder if they knew each other.
I'm
over there.
guessing they might if they had played in some various leagues against each other growing up and whatnot.
Yes.
Isaac Johnson missing the first shot. He's played well, though, this season, the sophomore out of American Fork, and we got a foul. And it looks like Martinez drew the charge, so right off the bat, a turnover.
Yeah, and that's Fresno State. Even though they're winning, they're not winning the win-loss column. They're a team that always plays the Aggies tough here. So, and they're a physical team, as you can see on that play, on that replay. They're going to play strong on the perimeter and give the Aggies a lot of pressure up top.
Osibor given plenty of room. And great with the layup. So dangerous in the post, and he delivers.
I think after the New Mexico game, he feels like he's got something to prove again to come out and really start to put pressure on this Fresno State defense right from the start.
He had 15 points, 8 rebounds against New Mexico. But there were times, you're right, Gary, that he was struggling in that game. That's a tough place to play, a lot like here.
Yeah, I mean, the pit was always a place that teams feared to go.
Like this crowd, very loud. And ball tipped away, great from behind. It's a shot clock violation, though, but another turnover for Fresno State. So here we are just a minute and a half into the game, and the Bulldogs already have 2 turnovers. Aggies will have very active hands. There's Danny Sprinkle in his first season. Of course, he had the best start ever for a first-year basketball coach here.
Yeah, I was up talking to Andy before the game and had to give the coaching staff some props because he just paid it all to the players. And I said to him, you can't have 0 points returning and then say that it's all the players, right?
as Ian Martinez hits the jumper. You got 13 newcomers, and they're 16-2, ranked 16th in the nation. We'll see if that changes when the polls come out tomorrow or Monday. And missed shot. Here come the Aggies. Martinez. He's got Falslev, and Mason delivers.
This is where Fresno's going to want to call a timeout. The Aggies are starting to run. You don't want to let this game get away from you early. This is where the Aggies feel like coming off a loss, you got another gear to go to get some movement.
And here they come again. Brown saves it. Now Martinez has got to go get it. Oh, he just barely does. And we're all set. Falslev, who had 19 points in that game against New Mexico in that loss. He's had 19 points 3 times this year, Gary, which is his career high.
Yeah, that's tremendous for a player. I mean, that's 19 points in any game is very difficult. To keep pushing it like he has been fun to watch.
Substitutions already for Justin Hudson and his Bulldogs as Isaiah Pope goes to the bench and Leo Calamiro steps in. Johnson for 3. Just a shade off, but Isaac Johnson, good three-point shooter. He's a 40% three-point shooter, so he's somebody you have to account for indeed. Working in the post, little hook shot is short. Good defense played by Johnson. And again, here come the Aggies.
And that's where I've seen him improve throughout this year is he's so long, he doesn't need to jump.
Oh, ouch.
And so that defensive play was great, making players score over him.
Ian Martinez airballed the 3. Good thing he's at home.
Yeah.
Because no one said a word.
Right. He'd be hearing that if
Yeah.
he's anywhere else.
Exactly. Isaiah Hill, he's a dangerous one. Nice pass to Andre, and there's a foul. So Isaac Johnson picks up the foul.
Well, it's good to not let him go in there and get an easy basket, make him earn it from the free throw line.
Beautiful day here in Logan. Our last broadcast we had here against Wyoming, it was a complete blizzard.
Yeah,
It still had a decent crowd, but good group today.
Well, I was worried about you making that commute. That
It
Sardine
was
Canyon's
fun.
not a fun one.
Yeah, it was white knuckles all the way through there. This time of year, you never know what you're going to get in Utah. But you know what? If you like the snow and you like to ski, we have been blessed.
Yeah.
over the last couple of weeks.
That is
plenty
true.
of that, indeed. So with the free throws, 6-3. Osobor will occasionally throw up a 3. He's only launched 4 of them this year, but that might be a goaltend, and it is. He gets the layup there. So great, as you mentioned, being a little more assertive in this game in the early going.
Yeah, and if you look on the guard play, they're putting a lot of pressure on the guards, but they're sitting back off those bigs trying to protect the rim, but really trying to limit the ability for the Aggies to move the ball.
Aggies now on an 8-1 run. It's that free throw for Fresno State. Johnson defending again. Oh, he gets a block. Not only does he get the block, but Johnson saves it. And Mason, Falslev, and no basket block. Falslev will be shooting.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call that without seeing that he was going up. I mean, but Vern's been doing this a long time, so he knows what calls to make and when to make them. I don't really question his calls.
Vern Harris officiated you.
That's right.
We'll be back. It's a little early to start really breaking down stats. But, Gary, some trends that aren't great. Fresno State has 1 field goal in 5 attempts, while the Aggies hitting 57%.
Yeah, I mean, from the defensive standpoint, the Aggies have turned them over twice already in their first 5 possessions. Getting shots off, the 5 or 6 possessions, getting shots off has been pretty difficult.
Oh, now Osobor did all he could, but what great balance as Leo goes up there and converts.
Yeah, that's
no foul. But
great athletic play. Well, I think Osobor played it out exactly right. Go straight up. You don't initiate the contact. And great defense, sometimes there's some better offense.
Oh, I'm not sure what Darius Brown was looking at, maybe a lob, but that ball came rifling through there. And this shot, here come the Aggies again. Almost turned over. Brown's got it. And Osobor defended. Back and forth we go. Brown and Osobor, the 2 players that came with Coach Danny Sparkle from Montana State. So 3 straight turnovers now for the Aggies. But Fresno State not able to take advantage. So Fresno State had the 2 quick turnovers, and then the Aggies come back with 3 of their own, and we got a foul under the hoop.
Yeah, I think Johnson's been a highlight for the Aggies so far. His defense has really been helpful, but Aggies getting out in transition, and Osobor does what he does best, draw fouls from the other team. So he'll go out. He's been phenomenal from the free throw line this year, but watching against New Mexico, he kind of moved back to his 60% average there.
Because he had picked it up in the last few games, but now on the season at 67%. This place gets unbelievably quiet.
Yeah.
Fresno State really struggles at the free throw line. As a team, 64%. But they have 3 players who are in the 40 percentile of free throws. 2 of them are starters.
Yeah, and in the Mountain West, and we've talked about this before, but games are so close. They come down to whether you can make your free throws, whether you can get the stops when you need to. So that's something that you'd want your team to improve as the season progresses.
Great splits that trip. 9-5 Aggies. Aggies in first place in the Mountain West, and they just let Andre get free for an easy dunk. First place in the Mountain West, and they were picked preseason 9th.
Yeah.
So they're definitely, a lot of prognosticators are scratching their head. But
well, they've exceeded expectations greatly.
By far, yeah. By the way, number 14, Josh Aduje into the game, and Brown, baseline, jumper, and Brown's on the board.
And Aggies are at their best when they're sharing the basketball like that, penetrating. You have players moving off the ball, finding those players, and creating open shots. When they become stagnant, things get a little bit more difficult.
Corner 3 is on the way. That's up and in for Isaiah Pope.
But that's
Utah Tech transfer, by the way.
And that's what you live with, because the way the Aggies play perimeter defense is they have their big come out and help, and then they become subject to that roll man like you saw the play before with the slam dunk. Now you have help side come over, exposes that three-pointer.
Oh, Osobor. He hits. Great Osobor. He hits only his second three-pointer of the season against 5 attempts.
Well, and it looks like Fresno was willing to live with that because they are just backing off him on the perimeter.
Well, and he's 1 for 4. That's not really his game, so I guess you would. It just worked out for him in that case. Also checking into the game now, Khalifa Sacco. He's been a good one for the Aggies throughout the season. And, great Osobor called for the foul as Vern Harris says, yeah, you reached in, young man. Take a look.
Yeah, that one looked like pretty clean. And that might be one you want to let go because it really didn't change the course of the play. You had a player with an open basket. But like I said before, Vern's done this a long time.
Yep. D.G. Nelson, one of our other officials, he seems like he's here every game we do. I told him, you got to get a place up here in Logan.
Yeah.
And Randy Heimerman as well. Hook shot up and in for Eduardo Andre. And Andre already having a really good game. He's got 7 points.
Well, he rolls to the basket. If you don't have that help side, then you're going to give up layups.
A young man
and
from
dunks.
England. Yeah, he averages 8, and he's at 7. Aduje, a little trouble, gets rid of it. Falslev. Ed Mason. What a year this young man has had, the freshman from nearby Skyview High School. And that's an air ball. Oh, but Falslev almost put it up and in. By the way, Isaiah Hill, 4 straight assists for Fresno State. We talked about what a terrific player he is. He averages 5 a game. He's already got 4.
Yeah, the offense runs through him. So, if he can make a choice about how he wants to impact this game, whether it's speed, and he has great court vision. Saw that against San Jose State.
Balls everywhere. What do we got? D.G. Nelson with the call.
Should be Utah State ball. So
it is.
That's one thing you see Aggies throughout this year. If a ball's on the floor, there's a white jersey or a blue jersey
right there
on
with
the floor.
Yep.
They aren't afraid to risk their body to get down there, and that's a sign of a team that wants to be successful.
Good crowd here on hand in the Spectrum for Saturday afternoon hoops. Aggies they're 4-1 in league, trying to get their 5th league play. The screen for Brown, and he pulls up. No, Sacco nearly gets that board, and here come the Bulldogs. Yap, up and in. Donovan Yap coming off the bench. UNLV transfer. Played his freshman year there. He's already a senior here. Martinez steps back 3, and he's fouled. And 1. Potential 4-point play coming.
Yeah, the Aggies needed that one. Step up and have an opportunity for a 4-point play.
Back here in Logan, Mountain West Conference basketball. Fresno State, Utah State. Dave Fox along with Gary Wilkinson, former Aggie great. Tyson Ewing, our statistician. When we came back from that last break, Fresno State had 1 field goal. They've turned that around.
Yes, I mean, they've gone from shooting, 20% of the field now back to 50% from the field. They cut this. It was tied for a second till Martinez stepped up and hit that big 4-point play. They're a team that's not going to go away. They showed that against San Jose State. They battle and they fight, and they feel like they have something to prove in this league.
They started out hitting just 2 of their 8 field goals, and before that miss, they had hit their last 4.
And this is something that the Aggies need to look at, because when Osabor's on the floor, their movement, they become stagnant offensively. They don't have a fluid motion through their offense, and they end up taking really tough shots.
By the way, I should mention that Fresno State, John Hudson, their 6-year coach, was an assistant at UNLV and San Diego State. He's actually not traveling with the team this week. He's been ill, and Keith Brown is the acting head coach today. I don't know if we've shown you a shot of their sidelines, but some fans may be wondering, well, why isn't Coach Hudson there?
Yeah.
We wish him the best as he recovers from his illness. Flu season's upon us.
Even in California, huh?
That's right. The raisin capital of the world, Fresno. Beautiful area, though.
It is. I only got to witness it when I was traveling there, so a lot of it was just the arena and then the hotel.
That's right. You played there twice, though, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it always was. How about that? And another turnover as Brown draws the foul.
He's so scrappy on the defensive end. I mean, as a big, when you have a guard, and everyone has the expectation that, oh, well, you just throw it to your big, but it's also sometimes harder to play against a guard in the post, especially a guard like Brown, who's just so quick and scrappy that you can't find your position on him. And that's what he showed there.
Fresno State now up to 5 turnovers. The Aggies have 3. They got those 3 really quick. Osborne, oh, what a move. And the second move, he delivers.
His mobility as a guy his size and his ability to finish with his left hand makes him so difficult to guard. He's really come in, he's just a phenomenal player.
And then he goes up, almost gets a steal.
He's got to be careful, though. He's already got one doing that.
Hill. And Hill puts up the little jumper there. Isaiah Hill had that game winner against San Jose State. That game, he had 24 points, Gary, and 9 assists and 6 rebounds, and hits the game winner for him.
I watching it, he did it all that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's been the season.
Oh, is Osborne going to get another one? He does! Great Osborne came into this game with 1 3-pointer made, and he's already hit 2 of them. Wow.
And as a player, when you start to get into a rhythm, it doesn't matter where you are on the floor.
Exactly.
You know? Stats begin to matter less.
And there's a foul on the shot, will not go in. Utah State now on a 9-2 run. You just wonder what the coaching staff is. It's kind of one of those, oh, yeah, way to go, when you make it. But he obviously has
the range.
You can shoot it, and he has I assume their green light because he's putting them up I think when they say, hey, if you're standing there, there's nobody near you, put it up.
Well, and sometimes it's worse if you don't, no matter what type of shooter you are, just because the defense is set. Yeah, they'll never do it, and then you're playing 5 defensively against 4, so you need to at least make them respect it.
2 for 2 on threes in this game, and now 3 for 6 on the season. So for now, great Osobor can tell everybody, hey, I'm a 50% three-point shooter.
Well, and Johnson's a good guy to put at the top of the key on this too, because he, like you mentioned before, he's a 40% three-point shooter, and if they're going to sit back on Utah State's bigs, he's going to be a guy that makes you pay for that.
Jackson checking into the game. That's Javon Jackson out of Houston, Texas. Cannot get the shot to go. Johnson just fell down, but manages to recover. Three-pointer on the way. Pope.
I think he was trying to draw a foul there.
Yeah. Jackson. False sleeve is open. And he's got a three.
That ball movement, when you are able to move it, penetrate, and kick out, the percentages skyrocket. And Utah State, from time to time, is really talented at that. But, Fresno's having a hard time stopping that penetration, and the Aggies are being able to find their shooters and convert on those things.
Well, and they've hit 4 threes, and they're now on a 12-3 run, and these fans are loving it here in the Spectrum as their Aggies at 4-1 in league play. 16-2 on the season. 15-game win streak's over, but they're looking to start a new one here on KMYU and the Mountain West Network. Gary, if you were looking at this box score and you didn't know these players, and you saw great Osobor with 13 points, 2 3-pointers, and no rebounds, you would think he's a guard. The strangest thing on that stat line is the 0 rebounds. Just haven't been in position yet to get one, but he does have 2 threes. Double team on Hill. Obviously, they do not want Hill. He slid his foot. D.G. Nelson says that's travel, but you can see a concerted effort to make sure Hill doesn't go off on this team.
Yeah, he has the ability to change the course of a game. So if you can contain him as much as you possibly can, he's already making an impact, whether it's from assists, but you just need to contain him on the perimeter and not let him get shots off the bounce.
Yeah, 4 assists, a steal, a rebound. And Fresno State with their 6th turnover. In their last 9 possessions, they've turned it over 4 times. Good Aggie defense. Johnson, how about that little up and under? Not sure what you call that, but it worked.
I've loved to watch his progression this year. I mean, he's playing with more and more confidence. I caught him after the Colorado State game, and he hit this 3 that changed. I think it changed the course of the game for the Aggies.
Absolutely.
And ever since then, I've watched him play with more and more confidence. He's going to be a fun player to watch as he grows in this program.
I sense the matchup with New Mexico just wasn't right. He went scoreless, did not play very many minutes.
Right.
But you just have to adjust to certain things. But generally speaking, he started almost every game.
Yeah. Well, and he's young. He's a sophomore. Yeah. He's still got a lot of time to learn. By the time he's a senior, he's gonna have a lot of that figured out.
.11
3 Aggie players around Hill.
All around him. Every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this time he draws the foul. So
let's see on the penetration here. You got 3 Aggies around him. And Jackson just reaching in.
Got a little too handsy.
Yep.
And Jackson goes to the bench.
Brown, night after night, has always got the toughest defensive assignments.
Does, and yet still delivers. Three-pointer from the corner, and that is up and in. Big basket for Leo Colomero, and they needed that.
Watching him play, it looks like he has so much fun. Speaking of Colomero, he looks like he has so much fun out there. He's always smiling. He's interacting with the crowd.
Enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yep. He's from Brazil, Sao Paulo. He actually played high school ball here in Utah, Wasatch Academy, which is just a great program.
Right.
17-pound bonus situation.
Yeah. Being in the bonus with as many turnovers as Fresno State's had, putting the Aggies in the bonus, it's really difficult to win on the road, especially in the conference as talented as this. So those are things that they're probably going to discuss at halftime, seeing how they can limit the fouls, limit the turnovers.
And you're putting the Aggies' best free throw shooter at the line as well. Darius Brown, 86% free throw shooter, converts there. Fourth in the nation in his assist to turnover ratio. Assists per game is 7 a game.
Yeah, and I think, watching them against UNLV, which was a fun game to watch.
Oh, boy, was that ever. That was unreal. I mean, how in the world they never led until the last shot of the game.
Right.
And that's crazy.
Which is a sign of a mature team, and I think that's probably because of Brown. He kind of has the maturity level to kind of keep the team on his back and weather those type of storms.
And Hill, a rare miss. Well, and in that game, so much had to go right. And let's see, so Brown hits the three, and then off the ball, the foul on Osborne. I'm sure there were a lot of UNLV fans who were like, what was that?
Right.
But either way, it worked.
Yeah, and he had to convert on both those free throws. That's a lot of pressure.
In that building, with essentially for the win. Utah State now has scored on 5 of their last 6 possessions. And lead by 9. Osborne really working in the post.
They're trying to get it into him.
And Martinez loses the ball out of bounds, while the Aggies will keep it. It's interesting in college. So, Utah State beats UNLV, climb in the rankings. Then you lose to New Mexico, but you get another game. So you never really know how the voters and the rankings are going to go. In football, once you lose that game, then the next week you drop. And one. Great Osborne flexes the muscles.
That is that's purely watch this play. You don't get to see the whole thing, but I watched that play unfold, and that's coaching right there. That play with the back screens, well executed.
Yep.
Get your player a layup and a chance for a three-point play. But back to your point against UNLV, I think so much had to go right for them, but and the rankings is a loss at the pit. I'm not quite sure it's going to affect you too much. I mean, New Mexico's getting votes. The pit's a terribly
really
difficult place to play. It might affect you a bit, but I'm not quite sure it'll push the Aggies too far.
Well, and we'll see. Obviously, they would have to win this game today, but if they did, then you're winning. You're splitting the week with, as you pointed out, losing in a very tough place to play. Aggies now on an 18-6 run, and that's 18-6 in 6 minutes. And how about Osborne's number now? 6 for 6, 2 for 2 on threes. And they stop the bleeding with an Isaiah Pope three-pointer.
And I think that, the point I was making earlier is the Aggies become stagnant when Osborne's not in the game. When he checked back in, that's when the run starts, right? They run so much through him, and the offense is so much more settled when he's in the game. And that's something that you might have to think about, because that's maybe not always going to be the case.
Unfortunately, a turnover on that last play. And now the ball in the hands of the dangerous Isaiah Hill. Little pump fake, and the short shot will not go on. Ian Martinez showing some good defense on Jalen Weaver.
He's had some of the most spectacular. Oh, here we go. I'm not quite sure how that wasn't a foul, but.
And the Bulldogs come right back. Three-pointer from the corner. That won't go, and here we go again. I mentioned Jalen Weaver. A lot of players on this Fresno State team with Utah ties. He played at Salt Lake Community College.
Yeah, that's where I played. So I played 2 years. It's like there's some – I love
another
that
turnover.
School.
So you got a Salt Lake Community College kid, a Utah Tech kid, and a Wasatch Academy kid. Yeah, I forgot you came out of Slick. Your light was shining so brightly up here. Sometimes you forget the early days.
Yeah, I take a non-traditional route to college basketball. But here we can take a look at this again, see if he goes up. Yeah, those arms came over, but I can't quite sure if it's because Martinez initiated the contact or not. But from a fan's perspective,
well, if he was a little too far out, but if he'd thrown that thing down, this place would have erupted.
Well, I've seen a couple plays from Martinez that I didn't expect that he could do, whether it be a block or a dunk, that I've been really impressed with.
Under 4 now. Osibor, this time he'll drive and lost it out of bounds. And we'll take a timeout. Fresno State trying to get something going here. John Hudson, their head coach, we mentioned before, not with the team today, battling an illness. Keith Brown is the coach of the day. We are back. 32-23, Utah State leading Fresno State. Big Mountain West Conference game, and Hill with another three-pointer. You got to watch out for him, and so far the Aggies have done a pretty good job trying to keep Hill contained.
I know Sprinkle headed into that timeout, wasn't too happy with the way the Aggies are playing. A couple turnovers, not executing.
Aduje to the rack, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, that's putting pressure on the basket, penetrating, going in and being able to cause a foul. This is good. Turn down a three-pointer to try to get an easier basket, to get stopped kind of the lull that they've been in these past couple possessions and get himself to the line.
Aduje, 70% free throw shooter. Got it. And now Falslev back in, replacing Isaac Johnson. A couple of local kids. Isaac played at American Forest. Mason Falslev at Skyview.
It's always good to have guys like that anchor your team. Some guys that have been in Utah, when you have guys transferring over, coming in from out of state, that kind of help your players feel more comfortable. Andy Hill, the assistant for Utah State, was telling me before the game how Mason had a bunch of the players over to swim in his pool at his house and do different things to try to create some camaraderie. But this
what a scoop shot!
Inexperienced Aggie team.
I've never been invited to Andy Hill's pool.
Yeah, me neither.
34-25, under 3 to play here. Big Mountain West Conference game. They're all big this time of year.
Yes.
Fresno State has struggled somewhat, though. That buzzer beater to beat San Jose State was their first Mountain West Conference win of the season. As that is a friendly roll up and in for Josh Aduje.
Sometimes it only takes one win, though, to start building that confidence and gaining momentum. So.
Oh, my goodness. Aduje tried to get up there, but Eduardo Andre throwing it down. Or, excuse me, that was Ian Martinez. Andre now with 9 points, one above his average. Martinez, smooth jumper.
Yeah, Aggies from the perimeter have kind of struggled this year. I mean, especially with their three-point shooting. So it's great to see that you can rely on guys like Martinez and Brown. At times, it's really shown a lot of ability to score from the perimeter. But Martinez lately has been very consistent.
Martinez this time dishes and great finishes. And Osibor starting to fill it up now. What a half.
I don't think he's missed.
He's hit all 7 of his field goals. You are correct. 2 of them are threes. And he's got 18 points. 18 points in 16 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's hard. I mean, you plan as a coach, you say, this guy's obviously an impact player. We have to find a way to contain him. And teams haven't been able to figure that out.
Well, he only had 15 in the loss to New Mexico, so he's eclipsed that, and that's a shot clock violation.
Well, and 15 against New Mexico, but he worked for every point.
He did.
Nothing came easy for him in that
Exactly.
game, and they made it really tough on him.
And in this case, he's already got the 18. The 2 threes were wide open, completely uncontested, and he's hit a couple of layups. Second shot clock violation for Fresno State. And shot clock violation, that's all about defense, right?
Right. I mean, that's the thing. The Aggies have been putting so much pressure on them. They keep turning them over, although the Aggies have increased their number in the turnover category as well. But that's shown that to decrease their field goal percentage, making Fresno shoot 45% from the field. That's generally where we'd like to keep teams when I was playing, is in the 40% categories.
Well, Utah State started 7 for 15, which isn't bad in their field goals. But since that point, they've gone 8 of 10, and that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seems the key to this is just giving the ball to Great, because if he's going to continue to put up those percentages, I mean, that's going to help them out in that category undoubtedly.
Osobor, the only player on the floor for either team that has hit for double figures.
And he's done so in a big way. He's had a full game in one half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. And he wanted something like that.
Right.
Coming off of that New Mexico game. All right, here we go. Under a minute. Aggies up 13. Brown takes it right to the rack. It bounces off, and here comes Fresno State.
I'm surprised Fresno's not getting in the hands of Isaiah Hill at this point. He's generally the guy you'd want it later in the shot clock to come up and make big plays.
Oh, big block. Pope gets it back on the assist, but how about Ian Martinez? And now the Aggies can look for the last shot. 10 seconds to play in the half.
And Martinez has done that a number of times. The big guys think that they can just go up and over him. He's so athletic. He's been able to stop him.
Step back 3, and it's just short. So the Aggies are going to head to the locker room leading 40-27, but a big push at the end of that half. Gary, what did you see that you really like?
I think as far as Utah State's concerned, they've been able to get the ball to Osobor. He's been able to execute, and that's been the mainstay for the Aggies this year. Has been, as Osobor goes, so goes the Aggies. So that's something that they've done really well in this half. For Fresno State, I mean, I think they're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. They've hung in there. They've made shots when they need to. So that's something that I'm sure they're going to talk about, turnovers and fouls in the locker room, to make sure that they can get those under control for the second half.
Well, there you go. The Aggies with a lead, trying to get back, starting a new win streak. It ended at 15. And right now they have a lead at the half. We're going to head to our KMYU studios and the Mountain West Network for halftime. Welcome back to the Spectrum in Logan. Another half of Mountain West Conference basketball coming your way. Dave Fox, Gary Wilkinson, former Aggie great. And on stats, Tyson Ewing, our crack statistician. We talked about this at the beginning of the game. Gary played on the 2009 team that won 19 games in a row, and this team's record streak stopped at 15. So your streak is intact, my man.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy or sad about that, to be honest.
Yeah, but it was great to see. But you know what? The Aggies still 16-2 and just killing it this year. They outscored Fresno State 26-13 in the last 11 and a half minutes of the first half. Really turned it around in that one.
Yeah, but Fresno is not a team that you can sleep on. They're tenacious. They'll stay after it. So this is something the Aggies just have to stay focused on.
Oh, that skip pass and then the 3 for Ducell. And Ducell's been very quiet, extremely quiet, Gary. That's his first basket of the game.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a 10-point guy.
But they can put points on the board in a hurry. And here they're going into a zone.
Uh-oh. Oh, Osobor blocked from behind.
It's his first miss.
Saves the ball. Yes, it is. Ian Martinez. And Ian Martinez draws the foul. Fresno State coached by Justin Hudson, who is not here. We mentioned this. And Justin battling a cold. We wish him well. Keith Brown, the interim coach. Hudson's done a nice job, though, in his 6th year. 2019, he was the Joe B. Hall Coach of the Year, which was an award for first-year coaches. Something Danny Sprinkle will certainly be involved in.
Well, I think coming out, giving a different look defensively is a smart move from Fresno. They had a hard time slowing Utah State down, their offense down, and especially Great Osborne. But so it's a different look for them coming out in the second half.
Ian Martinez, an 83% free throw shooter, normally very solid, and gets the second. Aggies' 15-game win streak ended at New Mexico on Tuesday night in the pit as Pope goes up and gets the friendly bounce. But there are a lot of streaks that end in the pit.
Right.
That is a tough place to play, just as it is here in Logan.
Yes. Well, and I would say that a lot of people get disappointed, but to me, I'm like, you don't win every game, you know.
Right.
It's going to end sometime.
Exactly.
And I think, as the Mountain West pit, that's as far as rankings are concerned. If you're going to take a loss, it's good to take a loss there because it's a well-respected place. It isn't going to move the needle too much.
I mean, UNLV almost won every game way back in the day.
That's right. That is right.
Falslev. Oh, boy. I'm not sure he even saw Hill coming. And that just shows you how good Hill is. The behind-the-back pass and Pope with the finish. And here come the Bulldogs.
Yeah, like I said, they're not a team that's going to lay down. They came out in this half. They have a different look in their eye, the things that they're working on. And they're playing very composed.
And again, Hill just collides with Brown. Brown's going to get the foul there. So Hill really taking over in this second half.
Yeah, that was a smart play in transition. Sees a defender and his feet's not set. Put a foul on the board and get your team the ball back.
Three-pointers missed and another rebound for Isaac Johnson. Martinez. Haven't seen Johnson yet from range. Lobs in, and it goes off Osibor. Johnson put up that three really early in the season, but hasn't put one up since.
Yeah. Well, and Aggies are continuing to try to do the things that they did in the first half, but this defense is making it so that those things aren't working. So they're going to have to make some adjustments to play against a 2-3 zone and see what they can do from here on out.
Pope loses the ball. How about that work in the post? There's two guys just battling, Eduardo Andre and Great Osibor. Creates a great little matchup in the post.
You got Pope on Osibor down there. Fresno's going to be sinking in its defense, but
yeah, D.G. Nelson's going to call that one in favor of Osibor, so he has another foul drawn.
Which this game hasn't been as pronounced as other games where he's drawn, double-digit fouls on the defense.
Well, in fact, Brown and Martinez had each drawn 3, more than Osibor in this game, and that is a little unusual. Osibor again working in the post there, wants the ball, gets it. A little too far out, though, and here we go again. Isaiah Hill with the ball. What's he going to do? Kick out 3, got it. And how about this run, Gary? And suddenly, Fresno State within 4 after an 8-0 run.
Well, I think that's like a Fresno State culture thing because I remember when we played Fresno at Fresno,
Big
we had the
basket there,
game,
by the way.
Yeah, all game but one, and a player named by the Sylvester Say hit a three-pointer from our our free throw line with 0.8 seconds left to turn it into overtime.
Oh, boy.
They're a team, they just don't go away. They're tenacious, they stay after it, and they're showing that here.
And you're right. It seems like that's been the culture for decades.
Yeah. They're always very talented.
Three-pointer, no. And here come the Aggies. They've had some great coaches down there. Steve Cleveland, of course, went on to BYU out of Fresno State. Jerry Tarkanian actually went back to Fresno State after UNLV.
Yeah. I remember Coach
Brown.
Cleve. He gave me an offer when he was at Fresno. I'm just born and raised in Utah, so Fresno is definitely a great option.
Much needed basket, and the Aggies trying to get their 5th win in Mountain West Conference play, while Fresno State, they just got their first against San Jose State. Three-pointer on the way, and that's off. Osibor is really working. I mean, he is working that post. Johnson's three won't go. Osibor tries to keep it alive, and it's out of bounds back to Fresno State.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned this earlier, but Osibor on the boards, it's not coming in as easy as this game. Fresno's trying to send guys to the board and not limiting his opportunities.
Purchase today at UtahStateAggies.com. The Aggies open their home season on Friday.
Aggies up 13 at the half, but it's a 10-5 score in the second half in favor of Fresno State. The Bulldogs not going away, trying to pick up a second win in league play this year. And in this building, the Aggies lead this series 26-8, so they've always had a lot of success here. But Fresno State fighting tonight, or I should say this afternoon, a rare 2 p.m. tip-off for us here in Logan. Three-pointer up on the way and misses again. Tipped out, though, and it'll still go to the Aggies.
It's almost a tale of two halves as far as the turnovers is concerned so far. I mean, Fresno's come over, turned the Aggies over a couple times in this first half, and has changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah, the Aggies already up to 9 turnovers in the game.
And
one more than Fresno State.
Right. And only shooting 40% from the field.
And again, another turnover. And the Aggies just out of sorts trying to hang on to the ball. Still with the lead, but 4 turnovers now in the second half alone.
Yeah, and I think that was a good change in the locker room for Fresno to come out and give a different look defensively. It's got the Aggies out of their rhythm. And
oh, how about that little shot, little scoop shot for Donovan Yap.
Right, allowed Fresno to make some adjustments on the offensive end to keep them within striking distance in this game.
Yap now 7 points. Andre, the leader, with 9 for Fresno State. He's trying to get back into some rhythm here. And Brown will try a little teardrop. That doesn't go. Run down by Falsleb and Mason. And there's just a lid on that basket.
When the Aggies are doing the right things, you need to...
Stepped out of bounds.
You need to get the ball into the middle of the zone. And that's what the Aggies are trying to do. Is you watch the cutters cut through on the offensive end. They're trying to get the ball to the middle of that high post area. And that's where you can facilitate your offense from.
All right, substitutions coming here for Fresno State, and here we go. Falslip gets a screen. Oh, nice
Great
dish.
pass.
Oh, and it just rolled off. It looks like there's going to be a foul, though, as Isaac Johnson, I'm going to have to have another look at this, goes to the rim and can't get it falling. Take a look.
That was a fantastic no-look pass.
Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. So the foul to Eduardo Andre.
Isaac Johnson at the foul line.
Johnson with a couple of free throws, good free throw shooter, 79% on the season. Didn't score against New Mexico. Just, you kind of sense it just wasn't his kind of matchup.
Right.
Didn't play a lot of minutes.
Back into Fresno, number 21, Isaiah.
But he's definitely a threat. He's
Absolutely is.
a player you have to be aware of when he's on the court.
Next up for the Aggies, they go to Boise State next Saturday. So rest of the week off before going to Boise State. Our next broadcast is against San Jose State on a Tuesday night, a week from Tuesday, January 30th, here in the Spectrum.
And the Boise State game, that Boise State was the one that snapped our 19-game winning streak.
Oh, back in 2009.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, there's foul there, Martinez. Well, Boise State, pretty good team this season, 12-5 overall. They're 3-1 in league play, just behind Utah State and San Diego State, both at 4-1. That's 2 games I'm looking forward to, the battles with San Diego State. Great pass, great block by Ian Martinez.
He's so deceptive in terms of his ability.
Martinez goes high and gets the roll for the Aggies.
You think you have him beat, but his athleticism can make up a lot of ground really quickly.
And Martinez hits double figures. And that all started with him at the defensive end, and then they let Eduardo Andre get free.
That's where your bigs, in practice, I'm sure, sprinkled drills into their head. If you have to show on a screen, your weak side help has to come over.
Has to be there, yeah.
And Fresno's got a couple easy baskets. The weak side help isn't there.
Yeah, that was in full display on that last play. Aduje looking at the 3.
Well, that was great defense, their ability to recover. It looked like he was wide open. And
oh, look at the one-handed rebound there, and Osobor cannot get that to go. How about this? Isaiah Hill, we knew how good he is. He has already tied his season high for assists. He's got 9 in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
there's still a lot of time to go.
He always finds a way to make an impact on the game. I mean, that's been, whether it's through scoring, facilitating, he's a dangerous player that's going to help his team win whatever way he can.
Well, and he only has 2 points, Gary, on 1 of 5 shooting, so you're right. He's looking for other things to do. He's got 3 steals, the 9 assists, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, and
whatever it takes.
And the Bulldogs are still in this game without your leading scorer putting up his usual numbers.
12 minutes to play here. Aggies are averaging 82 points a game. Fresno State only 69 points a game. We'll see how that all shakes out before the end of this afternoon.
See how the Aggies are trying to get it into that high post area. You keep flashing your guards. That's where the shots are open.
And Aduje hits. You're right. And Aduje now with 6. Stepped out of bounds. Jalen Weaver, the Salt Lake Community College transfer, had the heel out of bounds, and that's a turnover to Fresno State. We come back, the Aggies back to a 10-point lead in a crucial Mountain West Conference battle here on KMYU TV locally and the Mountain West Network. We're back here in Logan for the game. The Aggies hitting nearly 50%, but Gary, this second half, just 4 of 12, 33% on their field goals, and yet they still lead by 10.
Yeah, they've done just enough to kind of keep that lead in place, but you know, this defense that Fresno's moved to has caused them fits from an offensive standpoint. Turned them over, reduced their field goal percentage, so it was a good adjustment from Fresno State there.
And nearly midway through the second half, Great Osobor has not scored yet in the second half until now. See, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, you knew exactly what was going to get drawn up.
He had 18 at the half. He now has 20, including 2 threes in this game. There's the double team on Hill, and Pope makes him pay. Isaiah Pope, the Utah Tech transfer, with another 3. Pope with 14. He is really having a heck of a game, nearly double his average.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a team that's willing to have each of its players play with confidence and step up. With Hill not putting the points on the board like he usually does, you're going to need players like that to step up.
Well, he now has 10 assists. Long 3, and Martinez, he delivers. And Ian Martinez, boy, he's having a game as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with a lot of confidence. His ability to step up and hit big threes at big times.
Now on the other side for Fresno State, Hill now with 10 assists ties his career high. I mean, he is really, and we said this at the beginning of the game, the glue for this team.
Right.
Martinez, a well-rounded game as well, 14 points. He's got 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple of blocks even. He's just doing it all.
Yeah, and as you get down this stretch in conference play, you're going to need different players to step up because the focus is always going to turn to Osobor and other players.
Look at that scene behind the free throw shooter. Those fans are great.
Yep.
They honored Wild Bill, for those who are familiar with Utah State, a longtime, I guess, super fan.
Oh, yeah, he was a game changer in terms of he kind of led the crowd and
for years.
For years, yeah. He made it on ESPN a number of times.
Yeah.
He's really fun to have him in.
Mason
and just a great person. I've known Wild Bill for a long time. Great guy.
Well, he was famous because he always had his shirt off and was having fun. And they tried to get him to take his shirt off here at halftime. He's like, no, I'm not doing that.
He's turned into Mild Bill.
You're right. He had his wife and baby with him, and that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Mason Falslev with that last layup. He now has 7. And back come the Bulldogs. Mason's also got 5 rebounds. So a good, well-rounded game for Falslev. Hill, he's dangerous. Shorts that one. Here come the Aggies. 12-point Aggie lead. We're under 10, approaching 9 to play here. Aggies trying to start a new win streak after the 15 straight game win streak came to an end at New Mexico. Still 16-2 on the season, 4-1 overall to lead the Mountain West Conference when they were picked 9th in the preseason. Proving everyone wrong so far. A Duche. Nice assist from Great Osobor.
It's hard to tell in that instance where the offense was just stagnant or patient. You end up with a good
That's
layup,
a great point.
But he was wondering if anything was going to transpire out of that set.
Osobor now a double-double, Gary. He's got 20 points, 10 rebounds. So add yet another double-double. Hill goes for 3 and gets it. And Hill, boy, you don't want him to start going off if you're the Aggies, but that is a welcome sign for Fresno State. 5 points now to go along with his 10 assists and 3 rebounds.
Well, and Osobor can fill up those rebound stats in a real hurry because I think he ended the first half with 1 rebound. 1 or 2 rebounds.
Well, he's got a couple of offensive boards as well. And another turnover. 3-pointer corner, no. Aggies maintain that 11-point lead, now under 8.
There's a battle going down low.
Here
Osobor wants the ball, but they're going to put a lot of pressure on him. Sitting back in that zone. It's a smart play to get it out of there. Great for your teammate.
Corner 3. Look at Falslev goes and gets the offensive rebound. Osobor almost looked at another 3, but instead the dish and 1.
Yeah, that's a sign of a guy that can do it all. His ability to take a guy off the dribble like this and then a no-look pass to a Duche who finishes in high-flying fashion. It's really a fantastic play from the Aggies.
Josh Aduche goes to the free throw line. Really nice assist from Great Osobor, who's got a couple of those. The Aggies, though, have assisted on 7 straight field goals and 8 on their 9 second-half field goals. So really sharing the ball in this second half. And as a team, 16 assists, big number.
Yeah, and I think both teams are sharing the ball really well.
Yeah, Fresno State has 14 as a team, but obviously Hill dominating. He has 10 of them.
Yes.
All right, lead back to 14 now as we approach 7 to play. This has been a great battle all day long. Great's going to pick up the foul this time on Eduardo Andre, but those two, I mean, Great's winning the statistical battle, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Andre's got 11 points and just 3 rebounds. But it's just been fun to watch those two going at it. And again, they're both from England. who knows if they ever cross paths
Yeah.
in youth ball or something like that. 3-pointer miss. Three-point field goals for the Aggies are huge. Are they going to get another? No, 45%. And they got some cherry picking down court. Pope to the rim.
That's a great finish.
It really is, because Martinez was there. Not much Martinez could do.
Right.
Back to a 12-point deficit for Fresno State.
The one thing about a zone as the clock winds down, it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the perimeter, so teams can waste a lot of the clock just passing the ball around without much pressure.
And then hit that.
Right, and so at some point, Fresno's going to have to move out of the zone if they're going to want to start putting pressure on the ball and cut into this lead, if the zone doesn't do that itself.
Brown now with 7 after he hits the short jumper against that zone Gary's talking about. And they'll lead back at 14.
I remember when guards used to get upset when they make pass like that, but you got a long way to go as a big to try to catch things at your knees, you know. And
well, they always preach that.
Right.
You're like, well, don't put it down there.
Right.
Right now, the Aggies up 65-51, approaching 6 to play here on KMYU TV, locally and on the Mountain West Network. We're back here in Logan. Good crowd on hand. They're loving their Aggies right now, trying to start a new win streak after the Aggies raced to 15 straight victories. Now 16-2 on the season. Crucial Mountain West battle for both teams. And we were talking a little bit about NCAA tournament bids. I've heard as many as perhaps 5 or more Mountain West teams. You got Utah State, San Diego State, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado State. They're all above 14 or 15 wins. So who knows? Could be a banner year. Duge draws the foul. And that would be something else.
Yes. I mean, well, it's this conference is so talented this year. I mean, I don't think that there's any question that Mountain West deserves to have that number of teams in the tournament. You just have to see how things play out. You never are quite sure until the deal's done.
And a Duge shorts that one. Well, first of all, you have to make room for basically the entire Big 12.
Right.
Because every year. I mean,
yep, they dominate the brackets.
Boy, there was a game today, Texas, and I was listening to it on the radio, and Baylor hits a 3 to tie with like 3 seconds left. Texas races down the court, hits layup at the buzzer, and beats Baylor. And that's a big rivalry down there in Texas. Turnover. Brown's got it, and Brown with the finish. Darius Brown, 9 points now. And now the Aggies open up their biggest lead of the game. Remember, this half didn't start quite so comfortable, but they've really turned it around. Scoop shot, won't go, and Great's got the rebound, and a foul by Boachi, so he's got 4 now.
And that's what Osibor will do. He'll put your bigs into foul trouble real quick. So Fresno's moving out of at least putting more pressure on the ball with a full court press, or at least a containment press, giving the Aggies a little bit of trouble to get it across. But
Jackson back into the game, by the way, to help with that.
And now it looks like Fresno's moved into like a matchup zone.
Drive, a Duge. Brown. And Brown, but Osibor tips it out. And a Duge's got it. What are they going to call here? By the way, great Osibor now. We talked about the double-double, Gary. That's his 9th of the season in 18 games. So half the games he's got a double-double. 12th of his career, which, of course, goes back to Montana State when he was with Danny Sprinkle there last season.
Yeah. Now the Aggies are in the bonus with 4 minutes left in the game.
We had a game here. I can't remember if it was Colorado State or Wyoming. Remember, they were in the bonus like 4 minutes into the second half.
Yes.
Just
and
the
that
rest
was
of
Colorado
the way.
State.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was so quick. Of course, the Aggies went on to win that game. Great game against the Rams, as those kind of games usually are. They won at 77-72.
Yeah.
And then handled Wyoming. But last week's been an eventful one. The 1-point win at UNLV, just it looked like they were done. And then, of course, tough game at the Pit.
That's what good teams will do. They'll find a way to win.
That they did. Oh, that pass right into the hands of Jackson. And one. Jackson count the hoop. And Javon Jackson gets his first basket of the game coming off a steal.
Yeah, I thought he was going to slow this one down, but he just took it all the way in and was able to finish on that at least create an opportunity for a three-point play.
Donovan Yap, you saw him there signaling for a travel. You're not going to get called travel on that play.
No.
Jackson, good free throw shooter. 75% connects. And now the Aggies up by 19. They're on an 8-0 run, and they've done that 8-0 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this team can put points on the board in a hurry. They have so much talent. I was talking to an alumni group before the game, and I was telling them this is probably one of the most talented Aggie teams I've seen from top to bottom that we've had in a long time.
Since yours.
Yeah, I didn't go that far.
So you spoke before the game. I hope they fed you.
Oh, yeah, it was a good lunch,
Good for you. Great alumni up here, by the way. Three-pointer on the way to sell. No, that's an air ball. And a foul underneath. That's Osibor, I believe. So he picks up number 4. Yeah, it is. So 4 fouls on Great, but we're at 4 minutes to play, and the Aggies up by 20.
And that's a rarity. He generally is pretty good about staying out of foul trouble. I think one of the things he gets with those, he's got such great length, he gets a little tempted to reach quite a bit. And that's he got 2 cheap ones on just reaching.
Well, and honestly, with the time left and the score, his night might be done.
Yeah.
Aggies do have a full week before they play again. But with that jumper, the lead is now 22, and the Aggies dominating. And there's going to be a foul here. D.G. Nelson says, I know you wanted that steal and layup. Javon Jackson pleading his case. Darius Brown now with that last shot. 4 Aggies in double figures, and they've got a big lead. At West Conference basketball tonight. Tonight during the day.
Right.
I love this 2 o'clock start. Dave Fox, along with Gary Wilkinson, Tyson Ewing on stats. And we mentioned this at the outset of the game. For these Aggie fans, they can enjoy this one and then go home, get some dinner, and settle in and watch former Aggie quarterback Jordan Love as the Green Bay Packers take on San Francisco 49ers in playoff football tonight. And DeSalle hits both.
That way, number 1, Isaac Tavares.
Yeah, look for Fresno State to start turning up the pressure.
Yeah, here it comes. Jackson brings it up. So with Jackson's drive and hit, wow, you would assume that both Brown and Osibor are done for the game with about 3 minutes to play, and the Aggies up by 22.
You don't see that explosiveness from Jackson very often.
No, you don't.
But that's a gear I haven't seen for a while, or ever.
How about Johnson's defense? Ball is ahead, and here goes Jackson again. Jackson's come in and given him some nice minutes. He's now got 7. A little teardrop goes up and in for Isaac Tavares. And couple substitutions coming in now. Nigel Burris, haven't seen him for a few games, but he'll check in. Young man from Idaho. And Khalifa Sacco. He had played some pretty good minutes against New Mexico. Sacco did, out of France, but hasn't played quite as much tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Game to game, Sprinkle makes adjustments, and players get opportunities. And in different games, and that as a basketball player, you just have to take the opportunities when they come.
Now the Aggie fans all cheering for ice cream. They need 3 more points. I don't know that that's going to be that difficult.
We had some of that at halftime.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we did. By the way, that was very good. Thank you to your wife for bringing that down to us. If you haven't tried Aggie ice cream, I'm telling you. And that shot does not go. Burris in the scoring column, the statistical column, with a rebound. Nigel Burris, the sophomore from San Francisco. Khalifa, oh, he's blocked right there. It looked like Khalifa might have a clear path, and here comes Fresno State. Things getting a little sloppy, but we're under 2 to play. And more substitutions coming in. Carson Templin is going to check in. Another one that's kind of been in and out of the lineup throughout the season. And Landon Brenchley, another Logan native, played at Ridgeline.
This Aggie lineup's an interesting. We got 3 bigs. Have to maybe move Burris to the wing to see how this.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing there. So Osibor is going to finish the night with 20 points and 12 rebounds, 2 3-pointers, and a couple of assists as Templin to Falslev. And Mason gives it right back, and Templin gets the ball up and in.
Well, with Osibor's first half, I thought he was going to end the game with 36.
That's what I thought. He had 18 at the half and finished with 20.
Yeah.
But did a lot of other things. Because remember, he hardly had any rebounds and finished with 12 of those. Aggies need 1 more point to make this crowd happy. If they score here, you're going to hear them go nuts. And instead, they turn it over. And on the layup and the follow tip, another basket for Fresno State.
I think we have to rest timeout. Looks like Falslev got hit in the face and blood.
Yeah, he's definitely bleeding from the nose. Or maybe like I said, might have been his lip, something like that, but he got hit. So 79-60, a minute to go. Mason now trying to clean up his own mess on the court. Now Great's going to come out and help him out. Vern Harris, the official, with
everyone's pitching in.
So a big gut check game for the Aggies after they lost at New Mexico on Tuesday night. Lost that game 99-86. They got to within 7 late in that game. Had a 3-pointer Brown did that just missed it. Would have cut it to 4.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, you really, you needed a game like this to turn things around and get back on the winning track. This will keep them up top the Mountain West Conference standings as they'll go to 5-1.
Yeah, and they got a tough road to hoe. They've got some really, they got Boise State, San Diego State coming up.
All coming up.
Big games coming up.
It's like Mason just left a trail. There you go. A little round of applause for the cleanup crew. So again, just all around really good bounce back game. Percentages for the half, field goal 53% as they're still mopping up. 38% on threes. So just doing a lot of things right. Probably had a few more turnovers than coach would have liked. But the bottom line is you get the win. And now you get a whole week off before you got to go to Boise State. So you give Danny Sprinkle and this good quality coaching staff a week to prepare.
1 minute remaining.
And we'll see what happens there. Oh, wide open in the post. And Templin just delivered ice cream to the fans, and they just went nuts.
He's the player of the game for Utah State.
Yeah, exactly right.
As far as the fans are concerned.
Free ice cream if they go over 80, and the fans will let you hear it. So Utah State's going to go to 7-8 all time in Logan against Fresno State with another win as Templin gets yet another basket. And they're now 9-0 at home. Deadly at home.
Yeah, that's the thing about Templin. No matter what time he gets into the game, he's
still playing
with some
he?
energy.
Yeah.
That's, as a coach, you love to see that.
Just a freshman out of Fairview, Texas. And you can just tell he's going to be a pretty good one.
Right.
How about Brenchley there getting in the way? And now Templin's got the rebound, and that should just about wrap it up. So what a game for the Aggies. Javon Jackson, by the way, he had actually fouled out. But boy, he came in and gave him some quality minutes.
Yeah, he was a spark off the bench.
And there you go. Victory to Utah State, 83-62. And 4 players in double figures, Gary, led by Great Osobor.
Yeah, there's a well-rounded, well-balanced game from an offensive perspective for the Aggies. And I think you hit the nail on the head. They needed a game like this to come out after the loss to New Mexico to start putting them on the right track and get them focused for what's to come down through this final stretch of conference play.
Here's another number for you. We don't see this often. Darius Brown was not the assist leader. He had 5, but Ian Martinez had 6 assists. That's a career high for that young man.
Yeah, well, he's playing so well lately, and he's so fun to watch. He's a highlight waiting to happen. He's shooting the ball well from the perimeter, and now he's finding his teammates. That's a dangerous combination.
Well, I'm glad we got an afternoon game. Fresno State plays a few of those, and we were the recipients today. So now you Aggie fans, you can head home, or if you're watching TV, grab some dinner and settle in and watch your quarterback as the Packers go up against the 49ers.
Yeah, that should be a fun one to watch.
But for now, victory to the Aggies. And the new win streak begins tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Gary Wilkinson, Tyson Ewing on stats. It's been fun broadcasting. And have a good night. We'll see you next time here on KMYU and the Mountain West Network.